Hey folks, in this video I want to present to you the AX-1000 model from VSF Manufaktur. The Adventure Series AX bikes are flat bar, steel, low maintenance bikepacking rigs which can handle tough terrain. If you are interested in the higher end version, the AX-1200, be sure to check out the video on my channel. I saw them on this year's Eurobike and want to let you know what VSF is up to in the nearer future, and that there are finally more firms noticing the trend of such capable, do-it-all, low maintenance bikes. Neither model of the AX series is available yet, and VSF will launch them sometime in 2025, and it may be that the geometry and some parts might still change. Because I didn't film enough material of the AX-1000, I will also be using footage from the 1200 version and write the model name in the corner so you know which one is shown. As in all of my videos, I made chapters so you can skip to the parts which interest you most. This video isn't sponsored in any way, and these are my honest opinions. So let's get started. The AX-1000 is the more affordable version of the two. It will cost you half the price of the AX-1200 version, so 3,000 instead of 6,000 euros. This is because it comes with aluminum instead of carbon components and a mechanical pinion instead of the newer electronic pinion smart shift, which is also the reason why it weighs 12.5 kilograms instead of 11.5. The bike is going to be available in 4 different sizes, and as far as I can tell, it won't be customizable. Short disclaimer, if you have seen the video about the AX-1200, you can skip this part, as I believe both versions to have the same frame and therefore the same specifications. The frame is made from Reynolds 725 chromo double butted steel and comes in the color black olive glossy. I can imagine you will be able to choose from many different colors for an additional fee, as it is possible with most of their bikes. Additionally, VSF gives a 10-year warranty on their frames. As I said before, I believe that both versions share the same frame. This is because the AX-1000 version also has a hole in the frame bridge where the pinion is mounted, even though it doesn't need it because its cables are routed alongside the frame. The only difference I noticed is they used different frame splits on the seat stay, but I could imagine the models were prototypes and they were just testing different solutions. The cables are routed externally for better access and serviceability. They are attached on the down tube with these aluminium plates, whilst on the chainstay the cables can be attached with either plastic C-clips or zip ties. There are these black plates mounted to the rear frame triangle, to which the rear brake mount and the dropouts for the rear wheel are attached. These are needed to be able to tension the belt. This is done by setting the plates nearer or further into the frame using the slot holes. It uses a post-mount standard for the brake caliper, and the hub spacing is 148mm boost using a 12mm through axle. This makes it easy to take out and set back the wheel, always ensuring correct alignment. I don't know the official tire clearance, but there was a 29-inch by 60mm wide tire installed, and if the bike can be set up with 27.5-inch wheels, you should be able to fit even larger tires. The frame offers eyelets for a rear rack and also a mudguard, and there are many eyelets to which you can attach gear. 2 on the top of the top tube, great for being able to attach a top tube bag, 4 on the top of the down tube and 2 on the downside of the down tube, great for attaching bottles, and there are even 2 eyelets on the downside of the top tube. The seat tube has a hole to install a dropper seat post, making it more off-road capable. Interestingly, the AX-1000 didn't have any eyelets on the seat tube compared to the AX-1200, which can also be set up with a dropper seat post. I could imagine the eyelets may be in the way of a dropper post, but then why did the AX-1200 version have them? I believe that when officially launched, they will either both have them, or if the eyelets are in the way, come without. The frame even has a 40mm kickstand mount, which is in my opinion crucial when touring with lots of luggage. I must say that I'm very impressed with how versatile this bike is and how many options it offers you to set it up as you wish. I am not sure, but I believe the frame is not suspension corrected, meaning you can only ride it with a rigid fork. The AX-1000 comes with VSF's own tapered aluminium adventure fork, which has the same color as the frame and has a hub spacing of 110mm boost using a 15mm through axle. It offers 3 eyelets on each leg, which I believe are probably able to carry 3 kilograms per side. It offers a hole at the top, to which I guess you are able to mount a front light, as opposed to the Columbus fork on the AX-1200 version, where that is not possible. On the right leg, it has a hole at the dropout and on the top through the light cable from a hub dynamo through the fork and then there's a hole in the down tube to route it into the frame, just as on the GX500. But interestingly, I couldn't find an exit hole in the rear triangle. I could imagine that they'll make it possible to route the light cable through the frame in order to protect it from getting damaged. I believe the maximum tire size to be the same as with the Columbus fork on the AX-1200, which is 29 by 3 inch. I can also imagine that attaching mudguards on this fork is easier because the eyelets are perpendicular and not at an angle. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you don't want to miss any further videos, you're most welcome to subscribe. The AX-1000 comes with the mechanical C12 pinion gearbox. I don't believe in any way that the mechanical version is generally worse than the newer electronic smart shift. It just depends on your preferences and style of riding. There are advantages to both, but going into further detail would be a video on its own, and I plan to do a detailed video about the differences in the future. Generally, the pinion is a low maintenance gearbox designed by two former Porsche engineers. It sits where normally your bottom bracket is mounted, and all gears are capsuled, making it extremely durable. It doesn't need a rear derailleur, and the gears sit in an oil bath, making it very long lasting. The version offers 12 gears with an overall gear range of 606%, which is more than any other chain drive out there, and it has an average gear step of 17.7%. The only maintenance that has to be done is an oil change every 10,000 kilometers. You can pair the pinion with a belt, which doesn't need lubrication, doesn't rust, and lasts about 20,000 kilometers. It truly is a drivetrain for the extremes, and therefore is the perfect choice for this bike. The bike is spec'd with a 32-tooth chainring and a 30-tooth sprocket, giving you a climbing gear of 0.59, which with a 29-inch by 60mm wide tire translates to 1.37 meters of development or 17 gear inches. The largest and fastest gear is 3.6, which translates to 8.3 meters of development or 104 gear inches. The AX-1000 uses Shimano Deore XT M8010 hubs. These use cone bearings, which you're able to replace if they have worn out, or adjust them if there's any play. The free hub uses poles other than the original pinion hubs on the AX-1200, which uses DT Swiss star ratchets. The poles style free hub is not serviceable, and as I was filming the bike, a guy told me that he had many issues with exactly that Shimano rear hub on his pinion bike, breaking the poles mechanism multiple times because the initiating force of the pinion was too great. I'm also skeptical of how durable the rear hub is, and I wish they had either also used Pinion's original or another more durable one. The wheels use 32 2mm Neuro spokes in a 3-laced spoke pattern paired with Newman's 30 aluminium rims. Attached are some 29-inch by 60mm Schwalbe racing ray in the front and racing valve in the rear. I know it is not of mechanical advantage, but for aesthetic reasons I would have preferred to have black spoke nipples, as they look better and would have better matched the bike. The AX-1000 uses 180mm rotors front and rear, which are attached via Shimano's Centerlock standard. The brakes are Magura MT30 4-piston, offering enormous braking power. Magura uses mineral oil just like Shimano, which lasts a long time, unlike DOT, which has to be serviced regularly as it attracts water over time, making it lose its function. The downsides, in my opinion, are that Magura uses a lot of plastic parts which break more easily. They are often a pain to set up because the tolerances are very narrow, leading to the rotor touching the brake pads, making noises, and it is also very difficult to get replacement parts outside of Europe. It uses an Acros headset, a Newman Evolution SLXC 760mm wide aluminium handlebar with 25mm rise and 8% back sweep, a 70mm Newman aluminium stem, and some Escolab 710 ergonomic grips. It uses a level 9 30.9mm aluminium seat post and some basic pedals from Union. Both bikes are similar to the Outback from Two Terrain, and when they have officially launched, I plan to compare them. So stay tuned. Overall, I am very impressed with the bike. The many aluminium parts on one hand make the bike a bit heavier and a bit more harsh to ride, but on the other hand, when using the right tire pressure, it is less noticeable, and if that means that the bike is 50% cheaper, making it more affordable and attractive for people that want to get into this style of riding, it is definitely the right move. The great thing is that should you notice you want to have higher end components, you can just upgrade gradually. If you prefer the mechanical pinion anyway, I am sure that if you spend another 3,000 euros on the the AX-1000, you will be able to upgrade it to a similar or even better bike than the AX-1200 whilst being able to choose your own preferred components. Which model would you go with and why? Let me know in the comments down below. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you are interested in bicycle gear and bikes in general, consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching, enjoy your day with a nice ride, and see you soon. Bye!